Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. We are talking Wimbledon. We are talking about day 11. We are heading into the peak and the pinnacle of the tournament. So the first of the finals coming up on day 11 with the mixed doubles final to follow the two semi-finals matches in the women's. This will be played on centre court, and it will be Sem Verbeek of the Netherlands up against the world number one female doubles player Katerina Siniakova. Somehow, surprisingly, an unseeded pair. I'm not quite sure how the seedings work in the mixed doubles. It's an interesting one, and they come up against Luisa Stefani, the Brazilian, who certainly has plenty of moxie about her, and Joe Salisbury, the hometown hero. So that'll be well worth staying up to the early hours to watch the first of the titles to be decided. But we do have the last of our quarters in the books, and look, in terms of the women's, Belinda Bencic, a little bit of an upset against Mira Andreeva. We certainly didn't tip that one, but we knew that she could be trouble. 2 tie breaks, hardly a break of serve in it, which is unusual at this level for the women's game. And both players really getting into an arm wrestle, but Andreeva just not taking it to Bencic enough. The way Bencic comes and comes to the ball and takes that time away from players is certainly a threat of her game. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Iga Swiatek outclassing Ludmila Samsonova. Swiatek looks like she's really coming into her own on the grass courts. And then in the men's, we talked so much early on about the unpredictability and, how tough it was to see who was going to come through this draw. And realistically, I have asked most strong pundits at the start of this tournament, the 4 semi-finalists that we've ended up with are likely the ones that we would have expected to be there. So we've got 4 of the top players there. We've got the top 2 seeds in Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. We've got Novak Djokovic, who was in that same quarter as Jack Draper. Yes, Draper got knocked out earlier than we expected, but Novak Djokovic was the predicted name to go through there into the semifinals. And then Taylor Fritz. There might have been some thoughts that Fritz might not have come through there, but I don't think a lot of people were predicting Zverev. Fritz had the better form. So on the law of averages and probability, these were the 4 favourites. These are the 4 names that you're expecting to get through, or 4 of the 5 if you throw Draper in there. But again, Draper would have been relying probably on Djokovic getting knocked out by someone beforehand. He hasn't done that. So it's kind of the most unpredictable tournament that we've seen in terms of that. Quite a story, quite a piece. But as I said, we've got lots to get into with day 11. And let's start with Aussie Watch. You might think that it was thin and, far and few between, but let's talk Rinky Hijikata. He is in action in the doubles, the men's doubles semi-final. Looking at this is a piece for Hijikata when we have a look at his Grand Slam history. He's only ever made it past the second round of one Grand Slam previously in the men's doubles, and that was 2023 when he won the Australian Open. So, quite a surprise. He won that with Jason Kubler, as we remember, and went through there beating the Polish pair in the final. So maybe, just maybe, Rinky Hijikata can get it done here. It'll be an interesting one. He pairs up with the Dutchman in David Pell. They come up against Sam Verbeek and Andre Goranson in the first round, got through that. It hasn't been smooth sailing, but they have got it done. Straight sets in their quarterfinal in their round of 16 match, taking out the number 3 seeds, the German pair of Putz and Krajewicz. And now they come up against the number 1 seeds, Mate Pavic and Marcelo Arevalo. This is going to be certainly an interesting one. Arevalo is the top player out of El Salvador at the moment. Pavic, we know, a well-known and well-respected player in terms of the doubles circuit, the Croatian. So we'll see how this goes up. Pell and Hijikata will go in as outsiders, but they've knocked out the 14th and the 3rd seeds on their way to the final, so we wish them all the best. There's still plenty of other Aussies as well. We'll talk the junior women's in a moment, where Emerson Jones, our final hope standing, but we've also got the under-14s. Boys and girls singles getting underway. So a couple of names to keep an eye on. Saressa Jackson is one of the Aussie representatives in the girls. And then in the boys, Novak Palombo. So carries a good moniker, that is for certain. That of one of the greatest of all time tennis players, Novak Djokovic, who is here chasing his 25th slam. So this is a round robin where they'll play off in terms of getting his experience and building up. So certainly good luck to both of them. Thought they deserved a bit of a shout out here because they are names to watch for the future, Novak Palombo and Saressa Jackson. But Emerson Jones, she is the number 1 seed. She is through to the quarterfinals. She's going to take on Mia Ponkova, the Slovakian. Ponkova has got through. She took out the British 7th seed in the first round in straight sets. A little bit more trouble as she got to the 3rd round, the round of 16 in the girls, where she had to go to 3 sets to get past Nahani da Silva, the Brazilian, but did get it done, closing it out 3-7-3. So yeah, certainly one to watch. And yeah, Emerson Jones is continuing to march on, though. She is still alive in both the singles and the doubles, and we're looking forward to seeing her. She'll have a big day. She's going to be on court 18. She'll be playing one of the early time slots in that quarterfinal of the singles. And then a little bit later in the day, she will, as the number 2 seed in the double, she'll head into quarterfinal as well, where she teams up with Jolien van Drom, the Belgian, and they'll come up as the number 2 seeds up against the number 8 seeds, Kristina Penikova, the American, and Vendula Valdmanova of the Czech Republic. So Emerson Jones, a chance to chase the elusive and very rare piece of a double, whether it's juniors or seniors at a Grand Slam. So wishing her all the best. A big day of tennis for her. We'll wait and see how that plays out, and we'll keep you up to date with it. But that is our Aussie Watch wrapped up. Let's move on to the women's semi-finals. It's going to be a huge piece. We're going to just see who determines their path and their draw through to the final. Let's start with the number 1 seed, Aryna Sabalenka. She is taking on Amanda Anisimova. This will be the first of the matches on centre court tonight. And look, Aryna Sabalenka, we've talked about it ad nauseum. She is the number 1 in the world. She's been really strong. She advanced through without dropping a set to the last 8. Laura Siegemund, though, she challenged her. She was tricky for her. We talked about that being the likely case. Took her to 3 sets. Sabalenka's still too strong. But I think if we have a look and we're looking for a comparative, Amanda Anisimova, if she needs to take a lead from someone else, the game that Madison Keys played to knock Sabalenka out and to beat Sabalenka in the Australian Open final is the guide here. This is what she wants to look at. Madison Keys, that power, that strength. She's got to come out strong. She's got to come out hard. Anisimova, utilising that really powerful backhand, those big ground strokes. We've seen her play strong. She absolutely blew Pavlyuchenko over off the court in the first set in the quarterfinal. She's been strong in a number of others. Like the way she started against Yulia Putintseva, love. That's the kind of power. That's the kind of acceleration. That's the start she needs here. I think if Anisimova is to win this, she needs to get it done in straight sets. A grind is only going to play into Sabalenka's hands. Not to say that Anisimova can't win it in 3, but I'm just not sure that she does. I think that's where it plays into Sabalenka's hands. I am going to tip an upset here on the books. I've tipped Amanda Anisimova from early days here. I said that I thought she'd make it to at least the semi-finals, and from what I've seen of her, if she can come out of the blocks quickly, I think that she can certainly continue to accelerate towards the finish line here. And I've got her winning this in straight sets. She holds a 5-3 head-to-head lead over Sabalenka, which is, not many players manage to hold that advantage. So looking forward to seeing how this does shape up. I like Amanda Anisimova to get this done. Likely in straight sets, as I said. I think certainly some value about her and her power. As I said, if she can mirror what Keys did at the Australian Open, then there's a really big piece there for her. And certainly a good matchup for her. She played a little bit less time on court in this tournament. Her last match was shorter as well, so she got through a lot quicker, a lot less scathed. She's both got strong records on grass this year, but I'm going to go Anisimova to get it done, despite Sabalenka having that last win against her, or the last few wins against her, and having knocked her out of not only the French Open this year, but the Australian Open last year. I think where Anisimova's at and her game in grass is a different story. So Amanda Anisimova to take that one out. And then the last one for us to talk about today is Belinda Bencic up against Iga Swiatek. Now, this is an interesting one. These two have clashed before at 2023 in Wimbledon, and Iga Swiatek came through and got that done after saving some match points in the second set. And again, I think Iga Swiatek's game on grass is just come to another level at this tournament. She is absolutely charging here. As I said, I've been guilty of underrating Bencic already. I thought Andreeva would get it done against her. She didn't attack. I don't think Iga Swiatek will sit back and let Bencic dictate this. But again, this is a woman who's won an Olympic gold medal. We know this, so she certainly can't be absolutely dismissed. But Swiatek's form on grass really leads to another level. Now, this is Bencic's second semi-final, her first here, and it's going to be a key matchup for her. Likewise for Swiatek, not a known grass court performer. We know that she's had real troubles with grass, and a lot of that has probably come down to early in her career. The short turnaround, backing up from the French Open. We know that she took some time after getting knocked out of the French Open, those extra couple of days, and went to Mallorca had some extra practice, and it seems to have paid dividends. It's the first time she's made it to the semi-finals here. It's her deepest run, and it mirrors that semi-final at the Australian and the French. That said, she does have a semi-final problem this year. We know it's been over 12 months. The last tournament she won was the French Open in 2024. So she really needs to go to the next level and, I guess, drive things on here and break that duck. And if that gets in her head, the mental piece could undo her, and that's where Bencic could absolutely thrive. But I think Swiatek's going to break the semi-final duck. She's going to get through to a final. I think it's her versus Anisimova. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be an absolute cracker. I'll probably just as likely be just as wrong as I have been with some of my other predictions, but I like the way that Swiatek matched up. I like the way Anisimova matched up. I've got Swiatek winning this one. In 3, Bencic is going to make her work for it. She's going to make her earn it. Swiatek's got the best of the head-to-head, 3-1. She's had nearly 3 hours less on court here. She's got a really strong grass court record this season, 8-1, which when you look at it comparatively to what she has delivered, I guess, in the rest of her career, she's not been as strong on grass. And, we're talking about, taking those out. I think it's an 18-9 record previously on grass, which is not horrible, but it's certainly not as strong as what she is on some of the other surfaces. So, as I said, she came back from a set and match points down here to come back and win in 2023. She's that was the last time these two played, so she's got the recent form. It was 2 years ago, but I'm going to go Swiatek to win this one in 3 sets and make her way through to what will be another Grand Slam final. And we know what her record is in Grand Slam finals, 5-0. She's never been the runner-up at a Grand Slam. She's either knocked out in the semis, quarters, or earlier, or won the tournament. So we'll see how she goes there. It'll be interesting to see what the matchup looks like, whether it is Sabalenka or Anisimova. But we'll wait and see, and we'll bring you some more on that in 2 days' time. But until then, enjoy your tennis tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with a preview of the men's semi-finals, Aussie watch on any remaining Aussies as well, and talking about some updates from today. But until then, make sure you stay tuned in for our weekly episode later tonight as well. Plenty coming in that and more of our daily doses throughout the week.